As we continue our Secret Life of Teens series, let's take a look at a new trend called cyber banging.
It's a social media trend that's taking major cities by storm. Teens involved in small gangs called crews, posting threats, bragging about crimes, and showing off firearms on their social media pages. It's known as cyber banging. Sites like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter have rules banning sexually explicit images, but pictures like these are apparently okay. Some of these posts are considered to be disses against other crews, which can lead to retaliation on the streets and deadly consequences. There are more than 300 of these crews in New York City, primarily made up of teenagers. In 2012, the NYPD introduced Operation Crew Cut, which was implemented to monitor the activities of local gangs on social media. Most recently, it took down the dangerous Bronx gang 280 by gathering information from Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. While crime has dropped in the city, it's been reported that 40% of gun violence can be tied to these crews, with a 14% increase in gang arrests.
Well, joining us this morning is a man who knows that life very well. He has gotten out of it, but he knows it. His name is Dedrick Hammond. He is known on the streets as Beloved Hammond. He's the director of Operation Snug. Also joining us this morning, Randy Fisher and Charles Fisher, both of Hip Hop Summit Youth Council. Thank you all for being here. And I was asking you earlier, the time between a picture online and someone being killed, how long can that be?
That could be like 5 seconds, 10 seconds.
What do you mean, 5 seconds?
Because it depends on what we sending the picture about. If I'm sending a picture to tell them that, yo, you the person that we want sanctioned or we want you taken care of, then that's basically just it.
And you're dead.
That's it.
I want you to tell folks your story because you were how old when you got in?
I was 11 when I first got in. When I got a little bit deep into it, I was about 14.
Why?
Because, like, in the streets, it's like a different type of rule. You got dysfunctional families that exist in the streets, and they taught to take what they want, not ask for what they want. In the household, you taught to be respectful, respect mommy, respect daddy. But on the streets, it's like a different type of crowd because violence got more of attention out in the streets. It's not about being book smart.
But you had mom and dad at home.
Yes.
Both loved you very much.
Yes.
Both took care of you. Both put food on the table. And you still went out to the game. Did they know that you were banging?
Nah, my mother didn't find out until she went to a number spot one time and they said, yeah, Bad News, you know him, Mrs. Bad News? And she was looking at them like, Mrs. Bad News? My name ain't Mrs. Bad News, my name is Mrs. Hammond. And they was like, no, your son is Bad News. He run half of St. Nick. He's basically one of the baddest kids out there right now.
And it was 5 years it took. 5 years of you on the streets and your parents had no idea?
No.
Okay. Well, the whole point of this segment and this whole week of segments is to try and help you at home as you deal with your children to know what to look for. What could your parents have seen? What should they have seen? What could other parents see to know that their kids are doing some bad stuff right now?
When they constantly telling you things are being done to them and you're not paying attention to it, like
things are being done to them,
like getting robbed, getting bullied, constantly getting picked on, getting jumped. When something in that area is constantly promoting violence and they constantly getting that every day and they bringing it to you, it's something you need to check in because either I'm going for a victim and stay a herb or I'm going to pick up that hammer and I'm going to take one of them dudes out.
We were talking about, we were playing some hip hop earlier. We were showing some pictures. I think Chief Keef was one of the pictures. And look, I love hip hop. A lot of people love hip hop. Yeah. But you can't deny that hip hop, in some of the hip hop culture out there, there are messages that push kids towards this stuff. You both are, there's Chief Keef right there. You both are in the hip hop game. You're trying to promote something else. So how can hip hop change from being about this, what we're seeing right now, guns and killing and all this business?
The majority of what our organization does, the Hip Hop Summit Youth Council, we use the positive influence, and we have a project that we're doing called Hip Hop Against Gun and Gang Violence. This is our 3rd year in a row. We're getting proclamations from the mayor of New York City Council, and we have major guys on board like Power 105.1 Radio and Source Magazine, and we're going to be doing things to get the positive influence of hip hop out there into the social media, because we believe that's the reason why the young people are acting this way, because the culture and the influence of the media is sort of like getting into their heads. So it's like us trying to take this train and stop it on the tracks and sort of reverse the process.
This train is taking some kids way off the tracks.
Definitely.
It's ending with bloodshed. We've seen it, and we don't want to continue to see it. We have just a short time left. I want to ask you, I mean, look, there are a lot of parents out there. There might be some kids out there that see this. I mean, what do you want everyone to know?
Well, first of all, we depicted as being violent. This year is going to be different. This year is going to be different. We're setting a new tone. Starting May 16th to the 22nd, Hip Hop Against Gun and Gang Violence Week, the launch of a 105-day campaign, 3.5 months with Power 105 going around the country, but mainly in New York State, to address gun and gang violence.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for being here. I think the message here is obviously you want to keep an eye on your kids. You want to track what they're doing on social media. You want to make sure you're looking for the pictures. But then you're saying if they're coming home every day getting robbed, getting beat up, and something's not right, you need to look into that.
Yes.
You got to look into it.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having
I
us.
appreciate you telling your story.
Yeah.
Suki, over to you.
Thanks so much, Corey. It's 7:37. Still to come is the mayor.